Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sheboygan A's Baseball. Alongside the intern, Charlie Heim, and our cameraman, Lucas Schulze, I am Mike Martin. We'll be bringing you tonight's game against the Green Bay Blue Ribbons. This one has double importance as it counts in both the Northeastern Wisconsin League and the Wisconsin State League. Tim Moyer will not be managing the team tonight. Kenny Nazy will be at the controls. Tonight, Sheboygan comes in 21-14. They're 8-8 in the Wisconsin State League, 3-5 in the Northeastern Wisconsin League. So they've got some work to do in both of those leagues, and tonight's game a very important one. Let me give you the starting lineup for Green Bay, their batting order. Landon Lozier leads off in left field. Jake Pedasek is at third base, batting second. Batting third, the center fielder, Trent Van Ness. Batting fourth and playing first base, James Bornick. Batting fifth, the DH, Bryson Webb. Batting sixth and playing second base, Eason Hobetler. Batting seventh and playing right field, Ashton Long. Batting eighth, Stephen Russell. Russell catching tonight. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, Griffin Summers. Defensively for Sheboygan, they have Harry Stout at first, Jacob Neese at second, Riley Palmquist at third, and Jack Council at short. In the outfield, Carson Hansen in left, Gus Walker in center, and Brady Zackerson is back. He'll be playing in right field. Ian Mary is our catcher, and starting pitcher tonight is Dylan Davis. Dylan, a Marion student, majoring in sports management. He having a good year so far. This will be his sixth start of the season. Has a 2.54 ERA, has a record of 1-1. A little short-handed tonight. Like I mentioned, Charlie and Lucas and myself down on this end. And CJ Skelton is doubling up as a field announcer, doing the announcements and doing the audio enhancements. Charlie's running the scoreboard, so he's doing double duty, along with trying to make some really intelligent comments, which he's always really good at. Davis's first pitch is a ball.
Right on time with
7:30 game time, right on time. We like that. Ground ball in the hole and through the right side of the infield. So far against Green Bay, Sheboygan is 1-2, and those three games counted in both leagues. The last meeting, Sheboygan lost to them 7-0. Jake Pedasek, third baseman, is batting second. Lozier on at first. Not take a big lead. Breaking pitches in there for a strike. A pretty nice crowd tonight. It's not so hot and humid like it's been the last couple of days. That front came through yesterday and changed everything, Charlie.
Yesterday was supposed to be the first broadcast back, but against the Menasha Max, but of course rained out that game. So now, first game since last Friday. So a long time for people to get a rest and have fun for their 4th of Julys.
Pedasek takes strike three. Pretty uneventful at bat for Jake. That brings up the number 3 hitter, Trent Van Ness. And Lozier still hanging tight over at first base. Hasn't taken much of a lead.
Always a little bit tricky to take a lead against a left-handed pitcher like Davis.
Yeah, he's out there now that time. But on the delivery, Lozier took a step back to first because he thought there was a pickoff move coming his way, but that's not the case. Davis now has pitched 28 2/3 innings. He's given up 30 hits with that hit by Lozier. Davis with 21 strikeouts, only 6 walks. Good fastball there, and he gets Van Ness.
That just a very efficient at-bat on there. 3 swinging strikes. At least I think that first one was a swing. No, the first one was a strike at least, but...
Well, the guy that didn't do much when he was at bat was Pedasek. I think he took all 3 strikes. That brings up James Bornick. Bornick over at first base. There's Lozier on the go, and no play, no throw. Stolen base for Landon. That puts him in scoring position.
Big swing there by Bornick.
Yeah, it was a big one. You'd think Dylan Davis has a little bit of an advantage being a left-hander against a left-handed batter. Hopefully that's the case. 1-1. Pitch is driven through the hole again. And Zackerson throws it in, but no play at the plate. Lozier's stolen base, put him in position, and he scored. And it's 1-0 Green Bay. Good clutch hit by James Bornick. That brings up the number 5 hitter, Bryson Webb, the DH. Not now. It's in there for a strike. Left that over. I don't think he's here tonight. Jimmy Jurgensen not in the lineup tonight. A fly ball out to deep center field, but Walker's back and makes the catch. But after a half inning of play, Green Bay won. Sheboygan coming up.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Batting order for Sheboygan will be Jack Council leading off at short. Carson Hansen batting second and playing left. Harry Stelt playing first base, batting third. Batting fourth is Brady Zackerson in right field. Jacob Neese is playing at second base tonight. He hits fifth. Batting sixth is Riley Palmquist, the third baseman. The 7-hitter is the DH, Brad Reinflesch. Batting eighth, Ian Mary, the catcher. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Gus Walker. Jack Council stepping in, getting ready to hit. He's steps in, hitting .348. Having a real fine year with Sheboygan.
And Council, doing more than just hitting the ball well in terms of average. He's also stealing a lot of bases, 11 stolen bases on the year.
He likes to run, that's for sure. Owen DePress is pitching for Green Bay at a 1-1 count. Ball's fouled straight back.
Depress, a pitcher that Sheboygan has seen before in their first game against Green Bay. He was the losing pitcher. Noah Amory, the winning pitcher of that game.
Council fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the first. Green Bay struck first with a run in the top half of the inning. That ball right in there for called strike 3. That's going to bring up Carson Hansen.
Jack looked like he probably thought that pitch was a little bit high, but in the end, the umpire seems, it might just be our perspective, or maybe they're just throwing really good pitches, but it seems to be a pretty generous zone tonight.
It's early. That could be, he could have the floating strike zone. Bouncing ball again through the right side, out in the right field, a base hit for Hansen. Carson is definitely a running threat with 7 stolen bases. Let's see if Kenny Nazy gets Hansen into scoring position, giving him the steal sign. Harry hitting .320. Takes that first pitch for a called strike.
The interesting thing about Harry's year is that normally he is a pretty good power hitter. This year struggling a little bit with the power, but still doing very well at getting on base, getting hits, .320 average, as Mike said, .476 on base percentage.
Hansen with a stolen base. But Harry has a 1-1 count. I thought that last pitch might have been a strike, but it was not.
Oh, no, it was. Just
Okay. No balls and 2 strikes on Harry. That ball hit Harry right on the foot. He's going to take first. Hansen will have to go back to second base. He was stealing on the pitch. So Sheboygan threatening with runners on first and second, only 1 out. Brady Zackerson up. Brady missed the last couple of ball games. He was with family. And of the regulars, Brady is the leading hitter, hitting .350. He's got 8 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 home runs.
And aside from just the average, Brady pretty much leading in just about every category in terms of the triple slash. Also, only behind Harry in terms of getting on base.
The nice thing, too, is DePrez is a left-hander and Brady a right-handed batter. Should give him the advantage. Hansen on the move. Throw is high. Not in time. And Harry trotting down to second base. So a double steal. Two runners in scoring position for Sheboygan. Very important now that Brady get the bat on the ball.
I think Harry had a pretty smart play there. Waited to see where the throw was going before deciding to take off for second.
Ball bounces away, but good hustle by the catcher, Russell.
Hansen coming into the 7 stolen bases, now up to 9 on the year. Big threat on the base paths is Hansen.
It's a 2-1 pitch coming up. Swing and a miss. Good fastball by DePrez. Swing and a miss. That makes 2 outs now in the inning. It leaves it up to Jacob Neese to come through in the clutch. Our game time temperature for this ball game is 68 degrees.
Much cooler than the past few days.
Yeah, definitely. Semi-clear skies. We're not getting that haze quite as much from the Canada fires tonight. That's a good thing. Jacob swings and misses at that first pitch.
Jacob,
Hansen's on at third and Harry Stelt on at second. 2 outs.
Nice playing at second. A little bit of a different infield alignment than we were used to. Mentioned that Jimmy not present today.
Well, my opinion is this, of the guys that are out there on the infield, our strongest infield would be Harry at third and Jacob at first, and Palmquist at short and Council at second. I don't know how you feel, Charlie.
We'll have to trust Kenny Nazy on this one.
Yeah, no balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. DePrez comes back and gets out of the jam with no run scoring after 1 complete. Green Bay 1, Sheboygan nothing.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Getting ready to start second inning action. Ethan Hobetler will lead it off for Green Bay. Dylan Davis threw 12 pitches in that first inning. It's a sponsors night tonight. A lot of people filing in a little bit later than normal because of the social they had going on out in the picnic area. Sounded like he cracked his bat. Another fly out to Walker in center. Ashton Long, the right fielder, is up next. He's been busy out there. Actually, what I should say is the right fielders have been busy out there. Seems like a lot of the hits have gone to right field.
On the note of busy fielders, Gus Walker just busy overall this year. He's been pretty active in the field. 95 total fielding chances, so putouts plus attempts for a throw out at the plate. 95% fielding on that. So Gus, one of the leaders in the team in fielding.
He's a good one out there. There was a kid that played here, Charlie, I think it'd be 3 years ago now. Gus was here last year also. Maybe it was 2 years ago. But anyway, his name was T.D. Walker. Brady racing back. That looks like it's over his head. He got turned around. It's over. It's all the way to the wall in center field. Strong throw into the cutoff man, and that'll hold Long to a double. To finish my point, T.D. Walker, his last year with Sheboygan, was the defensive player of the year out in center field. He was really good. And then, of course, Gus came along and played center field. There was no drop-off.
Having a great defender out in center field is something that's super important because not only will you have a lot of flies go out center, but say you have a lot of ground balls up the middle. Center fielder's got to take care of that as well.
Nice to have a good arm, too, and Gus has a good arm.
Deepest part of the field, so it's some mighty throws out there.
Steven Russell takes that first pitch for a strike. 1 out. Long on second base with his double. Good stop by Mary, who was in the dirt.
Mary, we've seen him take a lot more opportunities out behind the plate starting as of recent.
Yeah, part of that, I think, Charlie, is he's been hitting the ball. You know, you saw him hit that home run the other night, but the other catchers, and we had talked about this in other broadcasts, they do a good job behind the plate. There isn't anybody that I would say is a defensive liability. The difference is the hitting. And right now, Ian's hitting.
Ian with a 261 average, 346 on base, 478 slugging. So when he's hitting the ball, he's making some very good contact. 2 doubles and a home run on the year for Mary.
I mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, Dylan Davis making his 6th start of the year, his 8th appearance. He now is tied with Reinflesch for starts. Little pop-up and hold it coming in. Zackerson calling off Palmquist and makes the catch. Nice play by Brady. Good communication was very important there, otherwise we could have had a major collision.
That one just an overall pretty awkward play normally. You know, it seemed like Russell just kind of swung at that, didn't think he would hit it, and then one of those it's almost a blue pit, but Brady able to rush in and get the grab.
Griffin Summers, the shortstop, is up next. Takes first pitch for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Ball hit the pass. Third baseman. Throw is coming home. And just beat the throw. Slide got him in there. So Griffin Summers with a single to left. Got it past Palmquist. And he gets an RBI single. And I think I called Palmquist as the second baseman on that catch by Brady just before. That was Jacob Neese at second. Another clutch 2-out hit for the Blue Ribbons. That brings up Landon Lozier, who singled and scored in the first.
That throw there by Hanson, it was very close, was just a little bit up the line, and Mary might have just been a few inches off from getting the tag down, but...
Yeah, he caught it and did the swipe, but it wasn't quite in time. There was a slow roller. Davis with the two-handed pickup and tosses the first for the out, but not before Green Bay tacks on another run. After an inning and a half, Green Bay now on top 2-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Riley Palmquist stepping into the batter's box to lead off the bottom of the second. Green Bay getting a couple of clutch 2-out hits, one in the first, one in the second. Take the lead. Palmquist pops one up center field. Van Ness makes the easy grab. That brings up the DH, Brad Reinflesch. We haven't seen Brad at DH yet, Charlie.
Had a few at-bats, I believe.
Two.
Two at-bats?
Yeah, it's just, one at-bat, third plate appearance. He drew a walk. So he came to bat twice, walked once, and made out the other time.
Of course, Brad, usually one of the top pitchers on the Sheboygan team, but with a little bit of a depleted roster, stepping in as DH.
Brad's a good baseball player. I mean, he's a good hitter, and we mentioned several times that he plays with another team and plays other positions other than pitching. He just loves the game.
I believe also one of the coaches in West Bend.
Oh, right to the first baseman.
One of the coaches in West Bend alongside Harry Steltz.
Yeah, I was talking to Brad a little bit before the game. He's the head coach at West Bend West. Harry is his assistant. Brings up Ian Mary. Charlie mentioned before that Ian doing a pretty good job batting, hitting .261.
Well, not in quite as big of a sample size, just statistically the best slugger on the team in terms of when each ball is hit. It's getting for the most extra bases.
Pitch just outside. 2-1 is the count. DePrez had 18 pitches in his first inning. There's a ground ball to Summers. And it's a 6-3 putout, and that ends the second inning for Sheboygan after 2 complete. Green Bay still on top.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Being that it's sponsors night tonight, I think it's appropriate that we say thank you to all our sponsors and all they do to help us to keep the program going. And we couldn't do it without you. A little preview. Tomorrow night we host West Allis in a game. And during the 5th inning, Scott Stengel is going to come up and be interviewed by Charlie regarding what the Sheboygan A's are doing for youth in the community. Tomorrow night is youth night. All players who come with their Little League jersey get in free. So we hope we get a lot of kids at the game. And like I mentioned, Scott will be up here talking about what Sheboygan does for youth baseball. There's a ball that's hit out in the left. It drops in front of Hansen for a hit. Jake Potasic with the base hit.
Hansen, I think, doing a pretty good job of just readjusting his angle on that. He figured out, all right, I'm not going to be able to catch it, so make sure you can cut it off.
Correct, yeah. Trent Van Ness, center fielder's up next. Five hits already for the Blue Ribbons.
And I wouldn't even say that it's been too bad of a performance for Davis. Obviously, the hits are a little bit of an issue, but he's pitched a lot of pretty good pitches. He's gotten a lot of strikes so far, but
hasn't walked anyone. That's a good thing.
No walks, 2 strikeouts. But Green Bay's just been able to make all of their hits count.
Those 2 out base hits were huge, and the first one was set up with the 2 out stolen base by Lozier, and then Bornick coming through with the single. Couldn't ask for much more, and then the 2 out single by the number 9 hitter, Griffin Summers, after Long had the double to deep center field. I'll give Green Bay some credit. There's a ball driven to deep left. I don't think Hansen's going to get that one. It's off the wall. Throw comes in, but too late. Scoring all the way from first was Jake Potasic. And in at second with a double was Trent Van Ness.
That one just a very good hit. Had a pretty long bounce off of the wall, but even if the bounce was played perfectly, don't think there was any chance at a play at home.
I don't think so either. James Bornick is up next. Bornick got the RBI single in the first that got Green Bay started. It's already 3-0. And Van Ness had a running start from second base. They were not going to get him even if Ian Mary catches the ball. Got to do a better job of holding guys on the bases.
Van Ness pretty much started taking off even before Davis even started the windup, looks like.
1-1 is the count to Bornick. There's nobody out, a run in, and a man on third. Two and 1 is the count. Ball is hit out into left center field. Walker calling and catching. His long throw is not going to be nearly in time. Give Bornick a sacrifice fly as Van Ness crosses home plate.
That one just a good attempt at a throw by Gus Walker, but very difficult to get the out. So good effort on that one, but now bases have been cleared. Hopefully this can be a nice little reset for Dylan Davis.
4-0 Green Bay. Bryson Webb up next. They're very aggressive tonight at the plate. Green Bay is swinging at those first pitches.
I think in that first inning they were a little bit more passive with it, but after seeing how many strikes Davis was throwing in that first 2 innings, really, since then started
Davis
to call
threw
down
12 pitches in the first, only 14 pitches in the second. So his pitch count isn't bad, but it's like I said, they're very aggressive, and they're getting their hits. 6 hits already. We're not even done with the third inning. Sheboygan's going to have to put on their hitting shoes, make a comeback. Palmquist backhands it. One hopper. And Harry able to catch the ball. Good job. Good thing nobody was hurt. I don't think the base runner still hasn't touched first base because he had to get over Harry, so he didn't step on him. Good stop by Palmquist. Need to get the throw up a little bit, but he got the job done.
It was up enough for Harry to be able to make a bit of a scoop, and afterwards a little bit of sportsmanship shown. Webb knowing, hey, didn't mean to do that. trying to catch the play.
Exactly. Hobetler first pitch swinging. And Walker makes the grab, and that ends the third inning, but not before Green Bay tacks on 2 more runs. They now lead it 4-0.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Gus Walker stepping in to hit for Sheboygan. DePrez in that second inning, Charlie, only threw 9 pitches. He got Sheboygan up, 3 down.
We were talking a little bit between innings about how Green Bay has been a very aggressive team, and Sheboygan also being very aggressive.
That ball hit off of Walker's bat for a foul ball. Tough break for Gus. Should be 2-0, but he couldn't get the bat out of the way.
2-0 or maybe even fully on first at that point. Instead, tips off the bat.
2 balls and 1 strike to Gus. Had a good rip at that pitch, but fouled it back.
Gus doing a very good job of getting on base, 15 walks on the year.
He's having trouble seeing the ball against DePrez. Stroked that one out into short left field. But Lozier able to make the catch. And that takes us to the top of the order with Jack Council, pardon me.
As you were saying with that, seeing difficulty with DePrez, especially for lefties, doing a very good job for DePrez at least. Good job for Green Bay, not good job for us.
Yeah, exactly.
DePrez looks like he has a little bit of a, not fully sidearm, but not full submariner, but a little bit of a sidearm to his throws. Most of the time with pitching, you'll have either right above the head or maybe a little bit, still mostly up, but DePrez going with that sidearms, working well.
Ball hit the center field, making a diving attempt and catch was Trent Van Ness on a great play, filled the gap in right center field, dove and made the catch. What a play.
I believe we saw him make a very good play like this, and I think they only had 1 game that they had here.
That might have been that 7-0 loss just not too long ago.
I think that was an away game with that one.
Yeah, 2 of them at home. 2-1, we won, and then the very last game we played against them a couple nights ago, 7-0 loss. Hansen up, with a 1-1 count. Single to right. was stranded on third at to end the inning.
Carson doing a good job of holding back his swing.
Crowd awfully quiet tonight. Sheboygan down 4-0. Carson hits one behind shortstop, and Summers goes back and makes a nice one-handed catch, and that ends the third. And after 3 complete, Sheboygan down 4-0.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Ashton Long will be leading off the 4th inning for Green Bay. Ashton doubled and scored in the 2nd inning.
That double that he had a very strong hit right up against the center field wall.
Yeah, he turned Walker around on that one. Gus got a good jump on it and then had to turn the other way, but there was no way he was going to catch it. Ball was scalded. For Davis, that was his 43rd pitch of the ball game. He had 16 pitches in the 3rd inning. That was his high so far tonight for pitches in an inning.
Davis not pitching too much. Again, part of that Green Bay aggressiveness on the bats. That one nearly.
Yeah, Long was able to check his swing. It was outside the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. 3rd strikeout for Dylan Davis. And that brings up Steven Russell, the catcher. Russell hit that ball to right field that Neese got a pretty good jump on it, but Brady called him off and made the catch.
And
big breaking ball is inside for ball.
From my angle on that play, it looked like Neese had dove for it, but I think it might have just been my lineup from when he was turning away.
I think he was trying to get out of the way. I also think it was a good choice to let Brady take it because I don't think Jacob was going to catch up to it. At least that's what it looked like to me. I'm just glad nobody got hurt. Good change of pace there for Dylan Davis. Got the swing and the miss. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Russell. Council. Just in time. Nice play by Jack. That brings up Griffin Summers. Summers with an RBI single his first time up.
Summers last inning had a pretty nice catch just running back. That one tired the inning before, but now hoping to do the same to him as he bunt attempt with 2 outs.
Yeah, Palmquist moved up, and now he's back a step or two behind the third base. There's a line drive base hit. Davis trying to work his first shutout inning. He's given up runs in each of the first 3. And that takes us back to the top of the order with Landon Lozier. Pitch count is compliments of Lucas Schulze, our cameraman. Pitch in the dirt, but it's fouled back.
Without a foul, Summers probably pretty easily out there on second.
Yeah, for sure. Davis paying a little more attention this time to the runner. He did not do a good job of holding the runners in the third inning. Soft liner out to left, and that's in for a hit. Hansen has to charge in and get it, keeping Summers on at second. 2 outs, but now Green Bay with 2 runners on. And Jake Pedasek is up. Oh, another jam. Good stop by Ian Mary behind home plate. Good speed on the bases for Green Bay. Summers is a very fast runner. And Lozier, being the leadoff hitter and playing left field, you'd got to imagine he's a fast runner also.
Back in the first, Lozier did get a stolen base. I think it was on a ball in the dirt. Mary not fully able to get up to it, but would have been a tough play even with a perfect recovery.
Pitch just inside makes it 2-0. I'll tell you, Summers at second base is going to take off for third if Dillon doesn't at least take a look back there. Council is right behind the runner trying to force him back. A better job that time. 2 balls and 1 strike. Slow roller to second. Council has it. Flips the Nice for the force at second, and that ends the 4th inning. When Sheboygan comes up in their half of the inning, it'll be Harry Stelt, Brady Zackerson, and Jacob Nice.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do.
Harry had an eventful first at bat. Charlie reached on a hit by pitch and also collected a stolen base. That was his second of the year. Who says Harry can't run?
Exactly.
You know who does say that? Harry. He says, I can't run. DePrez has been pitching a nice ball game for the Blue Ribbons. He's only given up one hit. Struck out the side in the first, but hasn't recorded a strikeout since. Nice play by the second baseman. Hobetler. That was a nice play by Ethan Hobetler to get Harry at first. For whatever reason, DePrez has just got us not hitting the ball very hard.
Had mentioned earlier we did see DePrez before.
Hobetler making that catch. And that's going to bring up Jacob Neese.
DePrez was the losing pitcher in our second meeting, which is the only one that we have won against Green Bay up to this point. It's a 2-1 victory for Sheboygan.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And Green Bay really just kind of had Sheboygan's numbers so far this year and still looking to break through.
First pitch to Neese is in there for a called strike one. And Jacob again down on the count. His first at bat he got down 0-2 and wound up striking out. See if we can get a 2-out rally going. Summers to put out, and that ends the fourth inning. Very quiet for Sheboygan. 3 up, 3 down. DePrez has retired the last 11 batters he's faced.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
We're going to interject a little culture into our broadcast. That'll happen at after the third out for Green Bay in the top half of the fifth. It's a book review. Look forward to giving you that. Trent Van Ness is up. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. He had an RBI double. Dylan Davis still on the mound for Sheboygan. Big breaking ball in there for a strike.
Davis has had a lot of pretty good breaking balls so far in this game. Pretty good slow speed pitcher.
Our next broadcast will be Friday, that's tomorrow, against West Allis when they come to Sheboygan for a 7:30 game. And then our next broadcast after that is a Sunday doubleheader against Burlington. Game time for that doubleheader is 1 p.m. I also mentioned that during tomorrow night's 5th inning, we have Scott Stengel. He's going to come up, and we're going to talk about, Charlie's going to talk to him about Sheboygan A's and their assistance with youth programs in Sheboygan. And a 3-2 pitch. It goes for ball 4. Van Ness is on to lead off the inning. This is the 5th inning. Green Bay got the leadoff hitter on in the 1st, 3rd, and now here in the 5th. And Kenny Nazy coming out. See what he's going to do. I think he's going to make a change. He is. Noah Emery is coming in for Sheboygan. How many? 65 pitches thrown by Dylan Davis.
And we're getting to see him for, you've seen him a fair bit so far this year. 25 innings pitched. Was the winning pitcher in the 2-1 game against Green Bay. With 22 strikeouts on the year as well.
Dylan Davis goes 4 innings, gives up 8 hits. He's responsible for the runner at first. So far, he's given up 4 runs. They've all been earned. He's walked 1 and struck out 3. Not the kind of performance Sheboygan was hoping for from Dylan. Charlie mentioned Noah Emery has been in a lot of ball games this year, making his 8th appearance. Leading the team in appearances is Michael Martinez with 10.
Martinez, I believe, is here today.
Yep,
he bringing out pitching.
When they did the program in the party deck area outside the ballpark, they introduced the different players. Michael introduced himself, Hurricane Utah.
Hurricane Utah.
So he is here tonight.
So Martinez, one of the more well-used people out of the bullpen for Sheboygan. And Noah Emery is starting to be transitioned a little bit into a bullpen role. Started a few games before now.
Well, he's got 5. This will be his, I think you mentioned, his 8th appearance, but he's made 5 starts. So his problem, like I mentioned earlier, is his walks. He's got 15 walks in 25 innings. That's a lot. Need to clean that up. James Bornick, the first baseman, is up. Jake having a nice night so far. Or James, pardon me. 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs. Mary with a good throw down, but not in time. Very nice jump by Van Ness.
It was a good jump. I think Van Ness kind of stumbled a little bit coming out of the gates, but still enough to get in. This speed. Saw that speed in action earlier on in the game with a nice diving play by Van Ness, but Sheboygan wishing that didn't happen.
Exactly. That second pitch to Bornick is a ball, 2-0. It's been all Green Bay so far. DePrez has totally dominated the Sheboygan hitters. Emery comes set, and here's the 3-0 pitch. And a 4-pitch walk. Green Bay now with runners on first and second, nobody out. Bryson Webb is up.
Green Bay just overall has been kind of a thorn in the side of Sheboygan has been very good against them, which is a problem because they are the only team in both leagues that Sheboygan is also part of.
Yeah, that's why these losses to these guys really hurt. It hurts double. Harry Stout way up on the grass, expecting a bunt. Webb takes that first pitch for a ball. It's 5 straight balls for Noah Emery. He came in for Dylan Davis after Dylan walked the leadoff hitter of the inning, who was Trent Van Ness, who bats number 3 in the order. Van Ness is on second. Bornick is on first. Mary with a great throw, but they're calling him safe. Van Ness slid to the outside portion of the bag and was able to beat the swipe tag by Palmquist. So he has another stolen base.
Van Ness kind of just had that swim move, and I think that's what saved him. The throw did beat him, I think, but again, as you said, on the outside.
A lot of times if a throw will beat a runner, the umpire calls him out. That pitch is outside. Another walk, and the bases are loaded. 3 walks in a row for the Blue Ribbons. It's like they're padding their stats, Charlie. You know, you steal all these bases, and then the last guy walks anyway. You know, you could have just stood there and gotten advancement. Ethan Hobetler up. Had a couple of nice plays the last half inning from his second base spot. Kenny would like to get some innings out of Emery, you know, with the game tomorrow and then that doubleheader Sunday, a doubleheader Saturday out of town. Don't want to wear through the pitching staff tonight. Pitch breaks outside. It's a 1-1.
Well, you might still have a few of the other pitchers that you normally have out here. I think Reclitus might not be in the building, so you know, having Reclitus pitch, having Ryan Flesh pitch, still very good to have, but you still do want to work through these other pitchers.
Well, with Emery throwing tonight, it's might be a stretch to ask him to have to start again on a Sunday. If you could get Schmitty and Jared and Brad in, you know, starting over the course of the next few games. 2-2 is the count. Bases are loaded. Nobody out. Green Bay threatening to break this game wide open. They already lead it 4-0. Ball's hit foul down the right field side and out of play.
That was a nice run at it, but it was, he said, out of play and pretty far out of play, but that's definitely one where you would let it drop even if you had a chance at it.
Breaking pitch got him swinging. Good breaking ball by Noah Emery. He gets the first out, retiring Hobetler, and that's going to bring up Ashton Long. Long, a strikeout victim his last time up.
It's a pretty good breaking pitch in there.
Keep it here. Emery's pitch is low and outside, evens the count at 1-1. There is one out. Green Bay has not scored yet. They loaded the bases with nobody out. Now they still are loaded, but with one out. Ball's popped up, but out of play. Just missing the bleachers.
Bases loaded strikeouts, something very important, especially, or no out strikeouts, I should say. Something very important. Don't allow any of the base runners to advance. Hoping to get the same here.
Hear me with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Delivers. Breaking ball is popped up again. Mary coming over. He's got a play on it. And makes the catch. Good job by Ian Mary. Got the mask off right away. Located the ball and then went over and made the catch. Harry was over there. I don't know if he'd have got to it if Ian couldn't have made the grab. And that brings up Steven Russell.
I was about to say, as in addition to those early out strikeouts, there's also some infield pop flies.
I'll tell you, if we can get out of this inning without Green Bay scoring a run, hopefully that provides a little inspiration to get the bats going. Good breaking ball by Emery is in there for a called strike one. We got a little book review we're going to do after the third out. We will not be going to a commercial this half inning. Swing and a miss by Russell. No balls and 2 strikes. Emery trying to work out of the jam. He had help in creating the situation, Charlie. Dylan Davis walked the leadoff hitter, and then Noah walked the next 2, but he's been able to get the next 2 batters. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Stay tuned, because we got a book review coming up. No runs in the inning. When we head to the bottom of the 5th, it'll still be Green Bay on top, however. Let's get into that book review I was talking about. We like to add a little culture to our broadcast once in a while. The title of this book is The Killers of the Flower Moon, with the subtitle The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI. It's by David Gran. It was published in 2017. So 352 pages in its nonfiction. The book investigates a series of murders in the 1920s of wealthy Osage Indians and others connected with the tribe. These murders took place in Osage County, Oklahoma. The Osage tribe was forced on a reservation in Oklahoma in 1872. When oil was discovered on the reservation, the tribe became very wealthy. Attempts were made to swindle the Indians, and this book covers the attempts of that and how the newly formed FBI did the work of trying to solve the murders. The ending of the book is very telling of how unjustly Native Americans have been and are treated. The book's organization and the depth of research helped to make this book very interesting. I found it to be an easy read. The book was adapted into a movie of the same name, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone, and is scheduled to be released in October of 2023. I highly recommend Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders, and the Birth of the FBI.
And perfect timing takes us through the entire middle of the inning.
Wow, that was great timing by Mr. Martin.
All planned out in the head when you were writing it.
Riley Palmquist leading off the bottom half of the inning. Great job of pitching by Emery to work out of that jam. He threw 22 pitches to get out of it. Palmquist falls it straight back. Now if Owen DePrez would cooperate a little bit and let us get some hits. Pop up on the infield. Hobetler calling and making the catch. I'm going to give a shout out. Emery gets credit for his great pitching, but helping along the way was a fine catch in foul territory by Ian Mary. That brings up Brad Reinflesh. Brad hit a line drive. Unfortunately, it found the glove of James Bornick, the first baseman. DePrez now has retired 4, 7, 10, 12 batters in a row. He's been outstanding for the Blue Ribbons.
Let Hansen aboard with a single that was nearly stopped by, I believe that is
Hey, there goes that streak. Reinflesh with an opposite field single. That brings up Ian Mary. How many pitches does DePrez have? 53 only. You know, we talked about Green Bay and their aggressiveness at bat, but Sheboygan's not going very deep on many of their counts either. They've been swinging that old baseball bat. Brings up Ian Mary. Ian takes that first pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Mary, as we mentioned before, made that pretty nice catch, and pretty much any play that a catcher has to make is a lot more difficult than any other position. And whether that's getting up, sometimes you have to go at some awkward angles. You do have a decent bit more equipment. I would say how much it was. I don't actually know how
you
much.
got that funny glove to try and catch a pop-up with isn't easy. Mary with a healthy cut, swing and a miss.
We also mentioned earlier in the broadcast, yesterday was supposed to be our first game back from 4th of July against the Menasha Max.
Slow roller. You get the lead runner, but no replay.
And Brad with a little bit of a, not the greatest form on a slide.
Who was that kid from, was that the Milwaukee team, the heavy hitters, the kid who was doing belly flops all the time?
But as I was saying before with the Menasha Max game, that one rescheduled to the 24th, I believe.
Yep. The Menasha game that was supposed to be played last night, canceled because of the rain, will be replayed on Monday, July 24th.
That week
a
also
7:30 start.
Week also has another rain reschedule, the 27th against Kewaskum, I believe. Yes. Now, it rained out a while back. Just having
that's right.
that end of the year section for any sort of rain delays.
Walker with a swing and a miss. One ball and two strikes to count. Mary on it first. Walker, good eye, taking that pitch.
A lot of times you'll see people on 2-strike counts start to swing the bat a little bit because you never want to strike out looking.
Yeah, you never want to strike out. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes guys swing for the cheap seats, and there's a line drive right at the third baseman. And caught, and that ends the 5th inning for Sheboygan, but they did break the streak by DePrez. But after 5 complete, Green Bay still on top.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells It's the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Getting ready to start the 6th inning here in Sheboygan. It's been all Green Bay so far. And they've been getting a great pitching performance by Owen DePrez. He's gone 6 innings so far and only allowed 2 hits. He has not walked anybody. He did hit a batter. And he has 3 strikeouts. What's amazing about his strikeout totals, he struck out the side in the first and hasn't struck out anyone since. Only thrown, according to Lucas, 62 pitches, which is outstanding through 6 innings.
DePrez just managing to fool Sheboygan with his pitching.
Griffin Summers, the number 9 hitter, is up. He's 2 for 2 in the ball game with an RBI.
And the point of no strikeouts, that seems like DePrez really is someone who doesn't have too much overpowering, but just ends up inducing some weak contact with having that weird delivery compared to a lot of people that you'll see at this level.
No balls and 2 strikes on Summers. Takes that fastball just off the outside corner for a ball. I don't know why he held off of that one. That looked pretty good. Ball hit the console, skips by him into the outfield for a base hit. Summers 3 for 3, and another leadoff hitter on for Green Bay. Lozier, the leadoff hitter, is up. That was hit number 9, I believe, for Green Bay. Five out of the 6 innings, I believe it is. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6. 4 out of 6 innings, Green Bay has got their leadoff hitter on. And Charlie, remember, this is a team effort, how we do this.
And really that has kind of been the thing with Green Bay, is that they've been a very just consistent overall, doing very well with pretty much everyone is getting involved in some way on the team. And if you have
a step off, stolen base by Summers. They are just abusing our pitching staff tonight in terms of stolen bases. It's not a good showing by the group.
Now, and it took a while for anyone to really notice that Summers had taken off.
Well, I don't know about the rest of the guys. It took a while for Emery, that's for sure. Lozier now with a 1-1 record. A 1-1 count. He's got 2 hits and 3 trips.
I think really just the big thing with Emery right now is he might be getting in his own head, trying to focus. All right, I need to throw strikes, pitch well.
Counsel, you see him ducking in at the top of your monitor, trying to keep the runner close, but Summers just taking a big lead. He's not worried about Emery throwing out to second base. Two and 1 is the count. Lozier squares around. The bunt takes it for a ball.
Neri making sure that Summers wasn't taking off for third.
Yeah.
Had a decent jump on it, but didn't fully commit.
Emery with the 3-1 pitch. Ball is hit up in the air towards right field. Harry getting a beat on it, and it drops over his head. It's going to be a double for Lozier. And what in the world? I thought Harry had a beat on it. Apparently he didn't, and then either he lost sight of it or he gave up on it. But there's an interesting. We got a runner at second, and he only goes to third on a double.
That might have just been one of those weird situations where Harry thought he had read it, but as it was coming down, wasn't quite set up for it.
Yeah. That brings up Jake Pedasek. Another jam for Noah to try and work out of. Palmquist is even with the bag at third. Harry even with the bag at first. Middle infielders are shortstop is way back. Second baseman is halfway. Ball hit down the left field side, but out of play. Yeah, right, all but one. Pedasek is 1 for 3 in the ball game, scored a run. A good breaking pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Good no swing, taking that pitch for a ball. It's 2-2. Green Bay threatening, runners on at second and third. They loaded the bases in the fifth, but did not score. Hopefully Noah can prevent them again. There's a drive out in the deep center field. That'll get a run home. Walker calling, making the grab. Both runners are going to move up. Good base running by Green Bay. Summers scores on the sac fly. And advancing to third is Landon Lozier.
I'm not sure if it was a deke or if he did actually lose it for a second, but Gus. Oh. Actually, interesting situation. Said that the runner. So was that runner that was on third going home? Okay. Runner on second that was going out to third took off a little bit before the throw. It's being called out. Run still scores, though.
Yep. So let's go over the situation. Sacrifice fly for Petasic on the sacrifice fly to center field, scoring Griffin Summers. On the play, Lozier, we thought he tagged up and went to third, which he did, but he left too soon. Sheboygan appealed it, and the umpires granted the appeal, and Lozier is out. So the way the situation stands now, 1 run is in for Green Bay, and there are 2 outs with nobody on in the 6th. Trent Van Ness is up. It's another play you don't see very often. A runner's called out on an appeal. We don't need to get into that down here. We keep it simple. The KISS principle. Fly ball out to center field. Zackerson, however, over and right, comes over and makes the catch. And that ends the 6th inning, but not before Green Bay tacks on another run.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Jack Council is going to lead off the bottom of the sixth for Sheboygan. Jack 0 for 2. Good part of the order to get something started, Charlie.
Top of the order for Sheboygan is very strong. Council, Hansen, Stelt, all around 300 batting average.
They're all way over 300. I think Harry was the lowest at 320.
Coming into the game, Harry 320, Council 348. Hansen just under at 294.
Zackerson was the one that was way up there.
And Brady with a 350 average on the year so far.
Yeah, we got to get to him with men on base. Council rips one and caught again by the third baseman, Petasic. Oh, my.
And that's one that you can't even, really all you can do as a batter is just say, that was a good catch. It's well hit, but Petasic just jumping as high as he can. Ends up making the snag.
Carson Hansen swinging at that first offering, fouls it back.
And Green Bay having a number of really good defensive plays.
Yeah, they've had a bunch of them today, you're right.
Which, when Sheboygan's already having difficulty getting good contact, having those good defensive plays makes things feel even further away.
Waiting on deck is Harry Stelt. See if we can get a one-out rally going. Drive right down the right field line. Fair ball! Hansen rounding first, and he's going to run in hard and make it to second base with the slide. Great throw out there by Long, but not able to get it there in time. Hansen with a double for Carson. That's his 7th double of the season.
Really, that just has been the big thing with Carson Hansen, is that he does get a lot of doubles. He hits the ball well, he hits it right where they're not, and he has enough speed to really take advantage of things.
Harry up 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Scott Stengel just entering the booth with our attendance. You'll be hearing Scott tomorrow night. Him and Charlie are going to be interviewing about the Sheboygan A's and how they help youth sports here in Sheboygan. Thanks, Scott. See you tomorrow. 2-0 is the count to Harry. Sheboygan trying to get on the board. There's a ball past the third baseman. They got it by him finally. Carson Hansen rounds third and scores on a single by Harry Stelt.
And I was just about to say even that if there's anyone that you want to have in a situation where you have a runner on second, it is Harry Stelt. very efficient at getting hits out there and getting RBIs. I didn't write down how many RBIs he's had on the year so far.
Harry now with 27 RBIs. Leads the ball club in that department. That brings up Brady Zachrisson. Brady with a mighty cut and a swing and a miss.
And even just having one run can really help out the morale of the team, and maybe that can, still keep charging them in.
Well, we got to keep going. 2 hits in a row. Let's see if we can keep it going. We got a good hitter up in Brady. Takes that pitch just off the outside corner. Evens the count at 1-1. We got a run in. Harry's on at first. Ball fouled straight back. He's got to be over 70 pitches now, huh? 74. When you think about it, those 74 pitches, and we're in the 6th inning, is a pretty good accomplishment. He's had some quick innings. He had a 9-pitch inning and an 8-pitch inning. That evens the count now at 2-2. They finally got something past Potasic at third base. And that makes the count 3-2. Paid attendance tonight is 274 in the house, 235. So Brady just able to hang in there. We had a very nice rendition of our national anthem by John Dahl. We talk about Sheboygan being a hidden treasure for the city of Sheboygan. That's what John Dahl is with his singing. Brady takes that one in the dirt for a ball, and now we have runners on first and second, with 1 run in and only 1 out, and Jacob Niesop.
And really just getting DePrez to start working on his pitch count, something that's very, very big for Sheboygan to have, because as you said before, had been very efficient up to this point, but now it's starting to get a little bit further beyond the 10 pitch per inning.
Jacob with a big swing and a miss. Jacob 0 for 2 in the ball game. Boy, Jacob looked like he got backed out of the batter's box by that inside pitch, but the umpire called it a strike. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And in all of Jacob's at-bats tonight, Charlie, he's always been in there behind the count. 0-2, 0-2, 0-2. Swinging a foul tick, but right into the glove of Russell. And now there's 2 outs. And Riley Palmquist up.
Riley hoping for a big at-bat. I'm now second guessing if it was him or Gus Walker that had hit the grand slam a few weeks ago.
Gus Walker hit that one.
Okay. No, Riley had hit a pretty big home run earlier on in the year.
It's that one down the right field side, but I think it's going to be foul and just out of play.
I might be completely misremembering.
According to our stats, Riley has 4 doubles and a home run.
Okay.
Good memory.
I did. Usually before the game, I'll write down a bunch of the relevant stats. I did not write down the home run for Riley.
You better get that down next time,
yep.
Charlie. That pitch in the dirt evens the count at 1-1. Harry Stelt on second base. And Brady Zackerson on at first base. There's 2 outs. We do have a run in. It's 5-1. Green Bay. Swing and a miss. Good fastball that time by DePrez. Even though he's approaching that 80 pitch mark, he's still got pretty good pop. 83 pitches. O'Reilly hanging in there. Good job of fouling that pitch off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. We're starting to get late in this 9-inning game. Time is called at home plate. We're ready to go again. Riley pops that one up on the infield. Bornick making the call and the catch. And that ends the 6th inning for Sheboygan, but they did get a run. After 6 complete, Green Bay still leads it, however, but now it's 5-1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then our dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Getting ready to start 7th inning. Green Bay will send up their number 4 hitter, James Bornick. Charlie mentioned that we have a couple of rain dates. They're not on your schedule, but they will be played. I'll mention those after this pitch. On the 24th of July, Menasha comes to town to make up a rain out. And on the 27th of July, Kewaskum comes to town to also make up a rain-out game from earlier this year. Bornick up, having a good night. Emery's still on the mound for Sheboygan. Big breaking pitch, but it hangs up high. Makes the count 2-1.
It looked very close to being in there, but sometimes you just don't have the exact angle to see.
There's a ball driven out to center field. Walker has it measured. There's 1 out in the 7th. Bryson Webb up next.
Emery doing pretty good since his struggles in his first inning of relief. Pitched, I believe, 9 or so straight balls before finally retiring.
Didn't look good there for a while.
Emery since then really settled down. Did give up a run last inning.
One and one is the count. That breaking pitch is in there for a strike. August 20th is the Snipe, the Sheboygan A's golf outing out at Town and Country. Want information on that, check the Sheboygan A's website. You got to force them together and join the group. It's always a great event. The Snipe, August 20th. Breaking pitches inside, makes the count 3-2.
Now I think he didn't really break anywhere near as much as Emery wanted it to. Ended up being a little high as well. Well, quite a bit high.
Pitch just off the outside corner for ball 4. Good eye by Webb. And that brings up Hobetler, the second baseman.
Number 17, Ethan Hobetler.
Butler taking decent lead over at first.
Yeah, 50 pitches so far for Emery. There's a drive out to center field. Walker can't get it. It's hit too hard, rolls all the way to the fence. That's going to score a run. Webb, great speed, races around the bases to score. Green Bay's 6th run off the double from Ethan Hobetler. Yeah, it looks like all Green Bay tonight, Charlie.
That one just a good hit. We've had a lot of very solid contact that's just landed right where Sheboygan isn't. Meanwhile, Sheboygan's had a lot of when they've had solid contact at least, it's gone right to the fielder, or the fielder's been able to make a great play.
Yeah, that ball was really scalded. I thought Gus got a great jump on it, but there's just no catching up to it. Hit too hard. First pitch is a ball to Ashton Long. That ball is hit deep to center field, but this time Gus does have a beat on it. Makes the catch just before crashing into the wall. And coming around and scoring is Hobetler on the long catch by Gus Walker. And I don't know if you give him a sacrifice fly, going 2 bases, I guess you do. Good heads-up base running, good third base coaching by the Green Bay coach.
Not sure how well, I don't believe we could see it on our camera, but the entire time, third base coach for Green Bay was saying, go home, go home, go home. It's not often that you do see a 2-base sacrifice fly, but every so often you'll get one out there.
We're getting some weird stuff tonight. 2-base sacrifice fly by a guy being called out at second because he left too soon.
A little bit of a collision at first as well.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous, but you're right. And on some of those, there's a called strike 3, and that ends the 7th. But again, Green Bay scores another run. They've scored in 5 of the 7 innings. And after 6.5, it's 7-1 Green Bay.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Yeah.
We're back here at Wildwood Park getting ready to start the 7th inning. Stepping in to hit for Sheboygan is Brad Reinflesch. Brad singled in the 5th to break the string of outs by Deprez. But before we get too much further into the inning, Charlie's got some trivia for us.
I do. It's been a while since we've had trivia. And another thing that's combined is a lot of times we do have the rapid-fire questions out here at the park. And a pretty regular question is, which do you think you're better at, swing from the opposite side of the plate or throwing with your offhand? And while we see a lot of switch hitters, there's not too many people that we see switch on the throwing side. So the question is, since 2000, how many pitchers have been switch pitchers in the MLB ranks?
Major League?
Major League or any minor league affiliates.
Or minor leagues, okay.
Give that a little bit to go through.
Lucas says 0. Oh, 3.
3.
3.
3.
You heard that? Do you hear that? Have you heard something about that, Lucas? How many switch throwers, or is that just a wild guess? Okay. All right. Okay. Reinflesch took that pitch, was very, very close. The catcher Russell thought they had strike 3, but it's 3-2. Swing and a miss. Deprez pitching a beauty here tonight.
And we couldn't quite hear it on the mics, but Lucas said 3, and he said that he knew of at least one for the Oakland Athletics, and that is the only switch pitcher since Pat Venditti played for the Athletics minor league, as well as a couple of other teams, a little bit of a journeyman. And a fun story about that is that the umpires that pitched one of his games ended up making a rule on the fly. He faced off against a switch hitter, and so they would just, for a few minutes, they just kind of went back and forth, switch, all right, I'm going to throw with my right. Then batter goes to swing with his left. Did that for a little bit. Rule ended up being that the pitcher has to indicate which hand they're throwing with first.
So it's the batter gets a little bit of an advantage in that situation. Not much, but there was a kid, an article in the paper, a kid in Arizona who could pitch with either hand, and he had a special glove made that he could just switch. He didn't have to change gloves per se, just move it to and he was able to use it on his left or right hand, and use it. That's a high school kid. You're talking about major leaguers, but still, it's pretty amazing.
And Venditti did also have a similar unique glove.
The kid for the Oakland A's?
Yep.
Ian Mary's up. Ian checks his swing, takes it inside. It's 2-2.
Mary's fought off a few foul balls in this at-bat. Some good patience.
3-2. Walker waiting on deck. Way outside the strike zone for ball 4, and Mary takes a walk. And with 1 out, Sheboygan trying to get something started, and here comes the Blue Ribbons manager. 98 pitches so far for DePrez, and they're going to take him out.
Pitching now is, it looks like number 1, Tanner Alstein. I'm in. Always nice when I can see what the number is right away.
DePrez goes 6 1/3 innings. He pitched a beauty, only allowed 4 hits, 1 run so far. That one run was earned. He struck out 5 and walked 2.
Now pitching for the Blue Ribbons, number 1, Tanner Alstein.
Tanner Alstein on the mound. Right-hander. DePrez was really dominating, Charlie. I know I mentioned this before, but he had 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 batters in a row that he retired before Rindfleisch finally got a hit in the bottom of the 5th. He did give up a run in the 6th on a couple of hits and a walk, but for the most part, he was dominating.
Really,
ended his night 98 pitches, is that right?
And what Sheboygan's hoping for is that maybe they can finally get something off of Alstein that they couldn't quite off of Deprez.
Yeah, anything's better than facing the first guy. Gus Walker is going to be the first hitter that Alstein faces. Man on first is Ian Mary. And Walker thought he was hit by a pitch. He threw the bat away and was going to head down, and the umpire says, come on back. First pitch is just goes for a ball.
I think Gus saying that it might have just barely clipped a wrist or something.
As long as it doesn't hit the knob of his bat. There's a high fly ball out to right. Going back, and on the warning track, making the catch is Ashton Long.
That one it was incredibly well hit by Gus, but just hung up a little bit too high.
Jack Council up again. Jack looking for his first base hit. Hit the ball very hard, but right at the third baseman who made the grab. There's a drive. Gets past Summers out into left field. Summers bangs his fist on the ground. Thought he should have had it. So runners on first and second. And Carson Hansen up. Hansen happy to see a right-hander. Although he did have 2 hits against the left-hander.
Hansen at 2 hits, 2 stolen bases as well.
Line drive to the gap. That should score Mary. Ian stopped rounding third and went back. You know, if the left fielder picks it up cleanly and has a throw to home plate, he probably gets them. So I can see why Kenny Nazy held him up. Council wanted to go to third, but he had to wait. The bases are loaded for Harry Stelt. Key moment in the ball game for Sheboygan. Harry got a RBI single his last time up. Mary on at third, Council at second, Hanson at first. Tanner Alstein steps off and calls his catcher out. I suspect they want to make sure they have their signs straight. I thought Hanson's ball, Charlie, was going to carry a little further.
That one looked like, off the bat, that looked like it was going to go pretty deep into the gap. Ends up being cut off pretty nicely by Lozier. Leaves the bases loaded for Harry, though.
Harry takes that first pitch right in there for a strike. That pitch is outside for a ball. It's 1-1. A hit here could close the gap and give Sheboygan some hope. Right now they're down 6. They need something big to happen. Pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Harry not happy with it.
Overall, a pretty generous strike zone by the home plate umpire today. Suspected earlier on in the game, but that might have just been one where it's still early in the game, not quite figuring it out yet.
Harry drives one. That's one out to center field. Van Ness makes a dive. And he makes the catch. Oh, my goodness. Harry hit a scalding line drive to left center field. Van Ness was off on the crack of the bat, dove, and made the catch. Another fantastic play by the Blue Ribbons defense. After 7 complete.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit. Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer.
And coming in to the top of the 8th, Griffin Summers set to lead off for Green Bay. Between innings, we did have our rapid-fire questions, and we had the Bat Boy Jackson do the questions for this one. One of the questions brought up was who his favorite A's player was, and he said all of them.
Very diplomatic. Learning diplomacy at a young age. First pitch is ball to Griffin Summers. Griffin having a great game. 3 for 3 night. Batting in the 9th spot.
He did have one of the easier stolen bases that we'll see for a while. Didn't even get a throw off, did Amory. Now hoping to finally quiet Summers.
Griffin in the ball game, I mentioned 3 for 3. He's got an RBI. He scored a run. Charlie just mentioned that he has a stolen base. He's made some nice plays in the field. And he was a little disappointed with himself in that last half inning. A Sheboygan A's hitter got a base hit by him out to left field, and he dove for it, couldn't quite get to it, and slammed his fist on the ground, saying, "I should have had it."
That was on the Jet Council hit.
Bouncing ball over his knees, but not able to come up with it. That'll be a base hit. Summers 4 for 4.
Left fielder number 35, Landon Lozier.
12 hits for Green Bay on the night. Landon Lozier has 3 of those 12. He's up next. Squares around the bunt. And Summers taking a big lead off of first. You got to keep him closer than that.
Especially with Summers specifically, already got burned by not even looking over.
Sometimes I think, they're up by 6 runs, and you think, well, what's he bunting for? But sometimes I think they're bunting to block the view of the catcher, make it a little easier for his teammate to steal a base. Of course, we don't know that for sure, but it's just a thought. I'm wearing my analyst hat.
Hopefully. Yeah, I mean, wait a minute, you're not wearing a hat at all.
Oh, it's on the chair.
Oh. Yeah, I wear it now, I think.
That pitch is in for a strike, makes the count 2-1. We're in the top of the 8th inning. It's been all Green Bay. They started off scoring single runs in the first and second, added 2 more in the third. And then they got 1 in the 6th and 2 in the 7th.
Riley just, for a while this inning, Riley was just taking a look at the third base umpire, seeing if he can maybe figure out some of the signs.
And another great jump by Summers, and he has another stolen base. And Mary, even though he really didn't have much of a chance, made a strong throw down to second.
Mary only 1 successful pickoff, which we saw in his last start, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. He did have a guy thrown out in the last game, the game he hit the home run. But I'll tell you, these stolen bases are not his fault. The pitching staff has not held runners well at all. Lozier goes down on strikes. 1 out in the 8th inning, and that brings up Jake Potasic, the third baseman. And he has done a nice job in the field. His third base position.
I feel like in a lot of games that jumping catch that he had over at third would be the highlight in the field for our team, but this top of the order for Green Bay has done very good fielding.
One thing we haven't said enough about is up and down the Green Bay lineup, Charlie. I mean, they seem like they're all fast runners. Nobody is, deficient in that area, and we've seen them. A lot of guys stealing bases, taking the extra base, and doing those little things that help make you successful.
And even for some positions that you might think would be on the slower side, for example, your DH, saw a lot of speed from Webb on his last appearance.
Ooh, he was flying. You're right. No ball, 2 strike pitch is in there for called, strike 3. Since Emery has come on, he's struck out 5 batters. And that brings up the fine center fielder for the Blue Ribbons, Trent Van Ness. He's made 2 diving catches. That last one being a backbreaker. The base is loaded and 2 outs. Harry hit a screamer, but it was caught. And he's called out. At third base is Summers trying to steal third, but Mary threw a strike down to his partner Riley Palmquist for the putout. And after 7.5, it's still Green Bay on top.
Hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
We have a new pitcher for Green Bay. We're going to try and find out who that young man is. Tanner Alstein, going 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks or strikeouts. I think we got a name, Hunter Medic. Connor Medvix. Medvix looks a lot like DePrez, little left-hander. Brady Zackerson stepping in to hit. He walked his last time up. Takes that first pitch in for a strike.
Northwood's cleanup hitter looking to get some action on the bats.
Couple of Marion baseball players facing off against each other.
Feels like with Sheboygan, if you have anyone from Marion on your team, you're going to, at some point, have a Marion v. Marion matchup.
How are we pronouncing the pitcher's last name?
Medvix.
Medvix.
CJ telling us that Tanner Alstein also from Marion.
Roller out to second base. And Brady's out on a 4-3 putout. And that brings up Jacob Neese. Jacob having a tough night. 0 for 3. If everything stays the way it is, Owen DePrez will get the win. And Dylan Davis would take the loss.
He's generally a very good hitter, but has seen some struggling today, as you said.
Yep, he's not had a good night. Coming into the ball game, he was hitting .286. That's down, of course, with the 0 for 3.
As well as I believe, a team leading 3 home runs. Tied for team lead with a couple of other players, I think. Jimmy has 3. Might be.
That's it. Jimmy and Jacob leading the team in homers with 3 each. Jacob checking his swing. 2-2 is the count. There's one out. We're in the bottom of the 8th. It's been all Green Bay. Swing and a miss.
Neese just fooled by that pitch. I'm sending him down on strikes.
The Green Bay pitching staff has really shut down the Brewer offense. We have 1 run on 6 hits. Green Bay has brought their hitting shoes to Sheboygan tonight. 7 runs on 12 hits. Riley Palmquist. Takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Ball's popped up on the infield. Summers makes a catch, and that ends the Sheboygan 8th. 1, 2, 3, and they're down. But after 8 complete innings, Green Bay 7, Sheboygan 1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Ben Vorpal on the mound for Sheboygan. He'll be pitching the 9th. Noah Emery's night is done. Noah walked 3, struck out 5. Did give up a couple of runs. Actually 3, and they're all earned. But Noah provided that bridge we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Sheboygan didn't want to go through too many of their pitchers because they have a lot of games coming up the rest of this week. Emery gave up 4 hits in his 4 innings of work. And Ben Vorpal in the pitch for Ben. This will be his 6th appearance. Through 12 innings so far. Does have 12 walks. Good opportunity for Ben to work on that.
And this is a situation you don't usually see with Ben Vorpal, where he's tied for the shortest pitcher that we've seen today for Sheboygan at 6'4".
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Vorpal 6'4", Davis 6'4", Amory 6'5", at least according to our preseason roster. We're gonna assume those are right.
I'm not gonna go out there and measure them. Trent Van Ness leads off the 9th inning for Green Bay.
So I believe a single pitch in the last inning before Summers got thrown out.
We're 2 hours and 12 minutes into this ball game. Pitch evens the count at 1-1. Don't see Ben's dad, Mike Vorpal, out in the stands tonight. Ball up the middle. Council makes the play. Not able to get it out of his glove, however. It goes as an infield hit for Van Ness. Council got over there in great shape, just couldn't dig it out of the glove.
It's very quick in getting over to it, but unfortunately just As you said, a little bit of struggle getting it out of the glove.
James Bornick in the ball game, or at bat. James, we mentioned before, having a nice night. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and 2 RBIs. And Green Bay, they're not stopping. Another stolen base for the Blue Ribbons.
Now, maybe a little bit lucky that for Sheboygan that Van Ness slid. Ball did get away from Mary a little bit, and if he kept running full speed, might have had a chance for third, but instead going to hold up at second.
That's the 8th stolen base for the Ribbons. Pitch comes in low. 2-0's a count to James Bornick.
Overall, Sheboygan seems like a lot of teams don't really steal too much against them. Coming into this, just I believe 51 stolen bases for opposing teams against Sheboygan.
That's pretty many, Charlie. Actually, I think
compared to Sheboygan having 50.
No, I'm thinking about the number of games played. It's over almost 51. You said for them?
Believe so. I have it on here.
Yeah.
50 for
50 in 35 games, and a walk to Bornick puts runners on first and second with nobody out. Well, whatever the case tonight, we have not done a good job with that. If they have the opponents have 50 coming into tonight, now they got 58. And just looking at it from tonight's perspective, it seems like the pitching staff just is not doing a good job of keeping runners close. Pop up on the infield. If it stays fair, it's an automatic out. Infield fly rule invoked. Catch made by Harry over at first. And that brings up Ethan Hobetler.
Hobetler had probably the most unideal double for Sheboygan to have. That little bloop hit that Harry just, I think, misread.
Oh, yeah. One pitch is up and in. The runner on first thought the runner on second was going. He got about almost a third of the way down to second base and then saw his teammate didn't go. He had to hustle back to first. Neese trying to keep him close. And time is called at home plate. Couple things that pitchers can do to try and keep runners close is vary their time coming to the plate, stepping off, throwing to the base. But I don't see much of that tonight from any of the Sheboygan pitchers.
Even when they have, it seems almost, at least for like looking over to the base, it seems almost like it's just cursory. It's supposed to do this. Doesn't really seem like Green Bay's too fooled by.
I think that's a great point, Charlie. A cursory look. And the base stealers for Green Bay are saying, cursory you, man. I'll take as big a lead as I want. Throw over here. 3-0 the count. We have one out. Runners on at first and second. Lucas ready to go home. So are the rest of us. Throw strikes.
I don't really have any solid back. I'm just trying to remember through the game. I think Sheboygan's only attempted 2 or 3 pickoff throws.
I remember Emery throwing one over. Dylan Davis, I think, did have one too, so you might be right. 2 all night. Ben having a lot of trouble. Ben should be pretty comfortable pitching to Ian Mary. They played high school ball together. There's a bouncing ball to Council. He goes to third to get the force out there. But in the process, scoring was Trent Van Ness. And that's going to bring up the number 8 hitter, Stephen Russell. Bettler's on at second. Long is on at first, reaching on the fielder's choice. Healthy swing by Russell, but he couldn't catch up to that ball. Strike one. Vorpal trying to work out of the jam. Pop up on the infield. Neese has it. And that ends the ninth. As we go to the bottom of the ninth, it'll be Green Bay 8, Sheboygan 1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Are you serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Getting ready to start the ninth inning. We're going to have some pinch hitters for Sheboygan. Batting for Rheinflesch will be Michael Martinez. Martinez has had a couple of at-bats. He doesn't have any hits, but good opportunity for Michael to get an at-bat here.
Facing off against the fourth pitcher for Green Bay between innings, switching out pitchers. Liam Jones now on the mound.
Martinez with a healthy cut, swing and a miss. Jones, another left-hander. I think 3 of the 4 Green Bay pitchers tonight have been left-handers. Tanner Alstein, the only right-hander. And he only went 2/3 of an inning. There's a call, strike 3, right on the inside corner. And that'll bring up Ian Mary. Not been a good night for Sheboygan. Very, actually, to be honest, a lackluster performance. Part of that, give credit to the Green Bay pitching staff. They've really held us in check. And they've played good defense. And Green Bay has stolen a lot of bases. It's been a few years since Green Bay has won a season series against Sheboygan, but with this win tonight, they will clinch that. They'll be 3-1 on the year. Mary sticks his bat out, drives it down the right field side, but it lands foul.
Just this Green Bay team, I think, has had some very good pitching overall, including today up to this point. Only 3 runs given up in 4 games.
I know that, was it the last game? Was it played here? We lost 7-0?
I believe that was an away game.
Up there, okay.
Away game, only 2 hits, which were...
Right, I remember that. I remember that now that you mention it. I think 5 guys reached base, 3 on walks and 2 on hits.
Just trying to remember the game recap that we have. I know it said Harry had one of the hits. It might have been Brady had the other. Not sure, but...
Yeah. Doesn't matter. It was only 2 hits.
Yeah.
And we only have 6 tonight.
And usually you'd think 6 hits is enough to at least score some runs, but they've been spread out quite a bit throughout this game.
Long fly ball out to center field, but Van Ness makes the catch. He's been pretty reliable out there. And that brings up Gus Walker. We mentioned this earlier, but our next game will be tomorrow night when West Allis comes to town for a 7:30 game. We look forward to bringing you that ball game. Looking for a better performance tomorrow. We're not sure who's going to be starting that game. You're just going to have to tune in to find out.
Exactly.
How about that? That makes it 2-0 to Gus. Gus flew out to left, lined out to the third baseman, and flew out to right. That last one was pretty deep, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that one I think might have been even a couple of feet on the warning track.
Right, yeah, I think that's what I called. I thought he was on the warning track. You're right. So sometimes you hit the ball hard, but you have nothing to show for it. And other nights you don't hit the ball hard, and you're a multi-hit game for you.
That's just something that just overall the team has struggled with today, but Gus Walker struggled with a lot this year. Seen a lot of very strong hits from him out here that just land in the gloves of other teams.
Walker hitting the last 2 foul balls right at the Green Bay dugout. I don't think he's doing that intentionally.
At this point, if you're Green Bay, you might think about maybe moving out of the dugout a little bit.
And a swing and a miss to end the ball game. Green Bay a winner. They score 8 runs on 13 hits. No errors. Sheboygan 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. The winning pitcher was Owen DePrez. He went 6 1/3, was really outstanding. The losing pitcher was the starter for Sheboygan, Dylan Davis. And like I mentioned, our next ball game will be tomorrow night when we face the West Allis Nationals. We look forward to bringing you that ball game. For the crew, CJ Skelton, Lucas Schulze, Charlie Heim, I'm Mike Martin saying thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you down the road.